Let's have the long-awaited discussion about autistic children being born into abusive families. Because this conversation needs to be discussed now because it has been occurring for far too long. You see, when you have abusive, ableist parents that have children with autism, they will see the child's disability very clearly. Like it's very apparent to them. And when they know that their child and the autism in their child is salient, instead of them getting their child tested and getting their child the help that they need and accommodating their autism, they would rather treat their child like the disability that their child has. So a lot of the times when they try to say that their child, they would gaslight their child the whole entire time. When they would talk about how difficult the child was and how the child needs help and the child is all this X, Y, and Z, everything under the sun that they would say to their children, that was their autism coming out. That was their autism. So how dare you try to abuse a child that has autism? How dare you come up to, that's like you going up to a child that's in kindergarten and telling them to go drive a car. What are you doing sitting here? You're only in kindergarten, go drive that car. That little baby can't even reach the pedals. And you gonna make them go drive a car? You know that saying when it talks about don't measure a person's intelligence by how much they can do, because if you measure a fish with their ability to climb a tree, that's wrong, right? I'm not sure how the quote ends, but think about it. How are you going to try to call a fish stupid by having a fish that lives in the water climb a tree, which is overground? You see how they have to be placed in certain environments? You want a fish to thrive? Put it in water. Put it in the environment that they will thrive in. You want a dolphin to grow as big as they need to grow, a mammal? Put it in water. Put it in the ocean or put it in the lake. They swim at the top of the ocean. That's where you need to go. You don't want to put a dolphin in a fish tank because they're only going to get as big as that fish tank. But the dolphins are meant to be big, right? So why would you put a child in a type of environment where and this is not about children being placed into autistic families. No, this is about parents not accommodating their children's autism. Why would you put a child into adult situations when they're still a child in the mind? Children with autism grow at a different rate and at a different speed and at a different pace than others do. If they are significantly or severely on the spectrum, then they age differently. They age slower. And at times their age can be halted. Come to a complete stop sign with their growth. And that child could be stunted at a particular age. And that's the age that they will be for years at a time. Years are going by, but they are still the same age because their growth has been halted, because their growth has been stunted. A child with autism, their growth can halt and can stop at any point in time. Like their biological clock can just stop growing, can just stop moving, basically. And when it stops moving, when it stops growing, they are stuck at the age that they stopped growing. And every child that is significantly or severely on the spectrum stops growing at a particular age until that biological clock starts running again, starts growing again, starts moving again. And if they are not given the love that they properly need, then that clock is going to stay halted. And here you have these ableist parents looking at their autistic child like they are a burden because they would rather convince themselves that there is nothing wrong with their child when they see that there's something wrong with their child and they don't even want to help their child to begin with. How fucking dare you? How dare you bring a child into this world and you see their autism, you fucking see that shit, and you want to act like you don't? But don't get mad when someone else is giving your child the love that they need, giving your child the love that they deserve, giving your child the love that they are worthy of. You try to make them feel like they are worthy of fucking shit Because you are sculling this fucking earth. If you are a parent that has autistic children and you treat them like they're nothing, you are fucking nothing. Don't go nowhere. You do not get to treat your children like they are less than. You do not get to treat your children like they mean nothing to you. Because if you do, you have completely failed as a parent. You have failed as a parent if you don't give your child the love that they need and the love that they deserve. How dare you? How dare you? You think you were just put here on this earth just to provide for your children? And you want to have a child, an autistic child, fend for themselves? Is something not right up here for you? It probably isn't. It probably isn't. It takes a severely mentally ill person that is a parent to do that to their child. The stuff that you see on television, the stuff you see on movies is happening in real life. And there needs to be a stop put to it. There needs to be a stop put to that abuse. This part I have to say out loud. The parents that have children with autism that completely failed their child, they did not give their child the love that they needed. They did not give their child the love that they were worthy of, the love that they deserve. They did not give their child patience or care or gentleness. And they forced their child to be in adult situations and behave like an adult when their child is still a child. Many of you people with autism are still children. You don't even realize it because your parents are making you become adults or making you act like an adult. And many of you parents with autistic children, your autistic child is still a child. They're not an adult. It doesn't matter what physical age they are at or what age they are based on the year that they are born. They are still a child if they are significantly or severely on the spectrum. And for those of you parents that did not want to give your children the love and the care that they deserved, your time is up. Your time is up. Because autistic people are gifts to this world. They are the ones that are setting the foundation for Age of Aquarius. And Age of Aquarius will be here whether the parents of those autistic children, the birth parents, whether the birth parents of those autistic children will be here or not. So you got to think, all those years you spent not helping your biological children because they have autism. Matter of fact, a lot of y'all did that because y'all have autism and y'all have self-hatred. Y'all are projecting that self-hatred onto your own children because you hate yourself and you hate your own autism, so you want to hate their autism through them. You want to hate your own autism through them, and you want to hate their autism through them as well. That's why you did that. Also, a lot of you are very ableist, and you don't necessarily have autism yourself, but you're very ableist, and you had an autistic child because you treated autistic people at some point in your life like they meant nothing to you. You treated them like scum of this fucking earth. You treated them like shit, so then you had to have a child that had autism to show you exactly how you still are ableist. It's either one or the other. Which one are you? Pick one. So anyway, it doesn't even matter what you try to do now, trying to clean it up, try to fix it, because they already suffered long enough. And they had been watching you the entire time, seeing what you were doing to their children, because they just had you as the birth parent. They just had you as the birth parent, and you failed your mission as their birth parent, because who the hell do you think you are to not even be the creator of that child? Because the Most High is the creator of that child. All you did was just go through the physical to bring that child here. How dare you? How dare you treat God's children like that? Like flies. That's how y'all will go. Because God is fed up. Her wrath just came through my mouth, so she can let you all know how angry she is at you abusive parents for abusing her children with autism. it's too late for y'all to get it together. Y'all should have been got it together.